Good.
Good. You ready for this game? We got OU Varsity versus Akron Zips Varsity. Should be a good game.
From what I know, the Ohio University is a very tough batch.
Yes, they are. We are doing a vodcast here. So, yep. We'd like to remind you guys that this is a rebroadcast of a past match. We know esports is much better live, but we wanted to be able to bring some consistent scheduled program that we can feel that highlights our students and our program very well. We hope you enjoy this and tune in more as we set up like live matches and along with these scheduled programs.
Think what I would offer.
All right, right off the bat, we got the cast ban. It's a little weird. I know Roy doesn't play a lot of casts. I'm surprised they banned Cassiopeia here, honestly.
I know that some of our other Akron Zips played the Cassidon quite a lot, but I don't think Roy plays it much at all.
Yeah, I'm really surprised because Multier, one of our other members of our club, plays him. Yeah, these are some weird bans. I get the Nunu ban just because Nunu is a very strong pick right now.
I get the Morg ban. They're probably never rated the Kate Morg, and the Lulu is just a very strong pick.
Yeah. Window Liquor plays a lot of set top, so that's a good ban as well. Ash. So Caitlyn is left open. I don't know if this is before her nerf or not.
They can still go the Caitlyn Lux, so the Morg isn't that big of a ban, but...
Yeah. I'm surprised Caitlyn was left open. She's just a comfort pick for a lot of AD carries right now. Oriana. Always a solid pick for team play. Got the Lucian. I wonder if it's a Lucian top. I know Kyle's been playing a little bit. Window Liquor.
The Lucian mid does get kind of countered by the Oriana, so I would expect it to be a Lucian top.
Yeah. Fuzzy's an incredible jungler. I'm really interested in when he's going to go. They left usually they hard ban Fuzzy. I'm surprised they didn't. That's usually the plan of other teams facing us. So we got the Pantheon. I wonder if that's a support Pantheon.
I think that the support Pantheon is a lot more useful than lane or jungle Pantheon. And if they do end up putting the Lucian down in the AD carry role, Pantheon is a good champion to pair with the Lucian for that hard engage.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really like Panth support. I think he's that level 1 and 2 is so good. Yeah, we're lacking a little bit of damage on the OU side if they go this Karma pick here. They got a lot of good poke and team fight setup. They're going to need a little bit more damage, whereas Zips have a really aggressive team going on right now.
Yeah, I don't like the Zac pick that much, but it does fill the role of needing a CC jungler. Looks like the Lilia is coming out for Fuzzy. Yeah. I really like this pick.
Yes, me too. Fuzzy's Lilia is really good. He can dominate on that pick. Gives them a little bit of AP too.
Impure fools.
The Vayne ban. I wonder if that's a comfort pick for OU.
Yeah, I don't know why they would ban the Vayne out otherwise, unless I don't know much about OU. Maybe they have a very good Vayne player.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
My genius will be understood.
Caitlyn ban coming through from OU. Looks like they really do think that this is a...
I'd like to see the Twitch here. I think that's a really sleeper pick right now. We just started seeing that in the LCS. And I think he's super strong.
I'm thinking this is either going to be a Twitch pick or maybe even a Tristana pick. We've been seeing it in Worlds play-ins as like a counter to Lucian.
Yeah, and that'd be really, really, really good for that Pantheon. Ooh, Mordekaiser. So it's not. So it's Lucian. That's weird if that's a Lucian mid, unless it's Lucian bot.
It could be Lucian bot.
Lucian bot with that Pantheon could be pretty scary.
Looks like they're going towards the Ezreal Karma lane. This is a pretty strong lane early on in levels, but later on the Karma falls off a bit.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll be able to contest with a Lucian Pantheon, though. They'll go for poke, and Pantheon will just shut them down.
True.
At least that's probably the goal. Again, OU's side, they have kind of a scaling comp here. That's what I wanted to see. A little bit more of like some damage early game, some pressure in the early game so they don't fall too far behind. That was a good pick by them. Yeah, I'm not too certain about the matchups in the top lane, but I'm sure Mordekaiser into Renekton is not a fun. And there you go, the Tristana pick. So it is a Lucian mid. Like you said, the Lucian into Orianna isn't optimal, but it can work. But that Tristana Pantheon, that is just a dirty lane.
It's going to be a really rough lane for either the Karma or mostly the Karma to get out of, because the Ezreal should have a safer time playing, just farming with his Q in the back.
Yeah, I wonder if the Karma even goes Relic instead of Frostfang, because
I think she would have to.
Yeah, when she goes for poke, it's gonna be rough for her. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out because this is a really interesting draft. Looks like Akron's going to want to close out as much as they can in the early game, take as many leads as they can, and kind of chill in the top lane. All right, so I know Lilia's clear speed can be pretty decent, but it's going to be interesting because both Lilia and Zach can get off really good ganks. But I think once Lilia hits 6, I think OU's going to have a lot of trouble with the Lilia ganks.
Yeah, I think once the Lily hits 6, I want to see probably ganks going to either the bot lane with that Pantheon to lock them down in place so Lily can get a good burst off and get her ultimate off, or the top lane so the Mordekaiser can sort of lane kingdom the Renekton.
Yeah, I think a lot of Akron's focus from the jungle should go top lane. Top lane or bot, I think that mid lane is just going to be a little bit rough, especially with the phase rush. Getting ganks might not be optimal on the mid lane.
And the Lucian can't really help out the Lilia much.
He does have the ignite advantage, so that gives him a little bit of advantage over that Orianna, but it's definitely going to be tough for him. We did see Karma go Airy. I know some Karmas go Guardian sometimes in these situations where they know they're going to have a tough lane. So she is going to want to proc her poke. Really want to see what she picks up first item.
You're gonna have to make sure that she's playing pretty safe with that Aerie and making sure that she's getting her poke off optimally and not sort of killing yourself to get the poke, because that Pantheon could just easily jump on her with W if she goes up for a bad auto.
Yeah, she might have to just wait until her R is up every single time. Got a really nice. Everyone went to 5-point right off the bat. No one's taking any risks here. And
Perfect
Karma did
5-point on
pick up the Relic Shield.
Yeah, that Karma's going to definitely want to be a little bit more tanky into this all-in lane. Double PTA coming out from the Akron bot lane.
Yeah,
Tons of burst if they ever catch anybody out.
I really hope they go hyper aggressive. You can see OU pinging out the Lucian Ignite, reminding their Orianna. So we see Zach starting with red buff, but Lilia is also starting with red buff. So the rotations of the junglers is going to be interesting.
It could be both of them just top-down clearing. So Lilia going to the Zach's blue buff and the Zach going to Lilia's blue buff.
Yeah, we see this Renekton shoving a little bit in that top lane. So that's going to be a little bit awkward when the Zach gets up there. That'd be really optimal for Window Licker to have his lane being shoved in.
Yeah, the Zach does seem to be going for his top side instead.
We already got a pause going here. Nothing in chat saying what's going on. Discord issues. Classic.
This pause shouldn't be too long. But if we're looking at the map, we can see that the Lilia is pathing down towards bot lane. It doesn't look like she's going to be able to get off a gank of any sort, so I think she's just going to probably full clear and then back.
Yeah.
Zach, however, might be able to get a gank off on Window Licker because it looks like his lane is slow pushing into Renekton's at the moment.
Yeah, Window Licker really likes to be aggressive in his lane, so a lot of times he shoves in. Right here, it's not going to be optimal for him. He needs to let this Renekton push into him and waste Zach's time. Bot lane too, they were probably being hyper aggressive, which ended up... It's hard to hold a lane as Tristana. You just naturally push the lane, and Ezreal doesn't push very much. So it seems like both junglers aren't going to be able to get off early ganks. Zach might be, but might be a slower game here. Yeah, we can see that the 80 carries are tied in farm, but Ezreal had a decent wave under his tower, so he's already got a lead in farm here. Weird how Mordekaiser went Dorian's shield first. I don't know if that's normal into Renekton.
I think it's just the safest thing that you can go in the top lane Mordekaiser, and it's like the standard that you go on top lane Mordekaiser. You can opt for the D-ring in some situations, but with the Conqueror kit of Mordekaiser, it's more optimal to go the D-shield.
Alright, so Window Licker is pretty pushed in here.
Zach is looking for an E-gank.
Yeah. And it seems like things are going pretty well for the Lucian-Orianna matchup in favor of Lucian here. He's getting off decent damage. Head and farm. Doesn't seem like Zach could get off that gank in the top lane, so he's just going to scuttle. Meanwhile, Lilia already got the bottom side scuttle, so Zach kind of wasted a little bit of time while Lilia just knew that she didn't need to set up a gank, so just went for it. Now we got a skirmish. Mordekaiser getting up really good damage in that top lane.
That was not the optimal trade for Imagination to get.
Yeah. And here's the real test, though. He knows he's got that lead, but is he going to stay and know that it's about 4 minutes in, the jungler could be top lane, and he doesn't have vision of him. But Zach can just hop over that wall and make things... There it goes. He's caught out.
Windowlicker's fine with the E that goes the opposite way, but there's a lot of damage coming out from that Renekton.
Yeah, it might not even... It might... Oh, wow.
At least here,
just
Lily
barely
might be looking
survived.
to dive.
Wow, that was a close call. I think if he used that flash
to both of them.
Yeah, if he used that flash a little bit more like defensively and kind of baited the Zac towards the Lilia, they might have been able to kill him. It was really close for Kyle though to get that Renekton. I really would like to see the Pantheon going in on the Karma as she steps up here. We haven't seen any engagement in the bot lane yet.
Looks like they've just been perma-shoving them under their turret, trying to get the Ezreal to drop some minions, but the Ezreal just ain't having it.
Yeah. He's doing a really good job of keeping up on that CS. Doesn't seem like he's missed much. It might be better for them to just slow push, build up a wave, and let a bigger wave crash into the tower here. Looks like they wanted to gain Prio to set up vision for Drake.
United Island getting that ward behind the dragon pit, making sure that Zac can't just sneak the dragon, and also so that he can't gank them.
Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that CS difference in the mid lane now, though. Lucian just dominating in a losing matchup. It's relatively skill-based, but Orianna should definitely have the advantage here, but he's just taking all the farm.
Yeah, Roy shoving the Orianna in, and Orianna just can't keep up. I think she really needed the Zac to come and try to reset her wave off of the turret because it was in a terrible spot for her.
Yeah. Really want to see this bot lane get a little bit more aggro and in their faces. And Ezreal shouldn't be able to push up like this. Sana just destroys the wave anyways.
Ezreal going for that deemed cheater recall to get his tier and
a call.
And a call.
Mordekaiser might have him here, but the ultimate from the Renekton gives him a little bit more survivability. Getting real close. Does he dive him? No, he opts hopping out. But the Lily invade with the Lucian. Taking out the Zac passive and bringing him down now. But a teleport from the Orianna.
From the bot lane.
But is that a good call? Zac hops out. Orianna slept. And they pick up first blood on the Lily.
In a bad spot.
Got the Karma too. That was a really good invade, and the Orianna TP was decent to help survive him a little bit longer, and the Zac got out of life, but I don't know if that was worth it because now Orianna's super far behind. Lucian is just gaining that farm lead, and now she's down to teleport. She can't go back to lane.
Ezreal's also down to teleport, and since the Karma got caught out there and behind the entirety of the zips, she had to flash over the wall and died anyway, so lost the flash.
Yeah, putting more stacks on the Lilia Dark Seal, putting Lucian way more ahead. He picked up the Cutlass. No boots yet, though. That might be the disadvantage that can put him back behind. Orianna can land an ult.
The Lucian does not have flash, and he doesn't have boots either, so the Zac could get off a successful gank if the Orianna baits out his E somehow.
Yeah, if there's a time for a Zac to gank, it's now. Does seem like he's perma-farming, though, getting his blue buff. While Lucian just gets more and more ahead. Again, this bot lane is just farm. It should. There it is. There's the engage we needed. Sana hops on and boom, deleted. Looks like the Orianna got the blue
9 minutes
buff.
for that engage.
Yeah, only 9 minutes in. Hey, but it happened. Sometimes it's just better to wait for the perfect opportunity, and that Karma just got way too comfortable. Seems like all lanes from the Zips are dominating right now. They've got a 2.5k gold lead about. And like I was saying in the pregame, though, we got this advantage, but we have to use it. That's the tough thing to do. Looks like no drags have been taken yet.
No drags, no Herald. Herald just came up 2 minutes ago. Looks like Lillian might be looking to solo it right now.
Meanwhile, I haven't seen almost any ganks. There's a one gank from the Zac in the top lane. Lucian almost picks off the Orianna. They've got good pressure here to set up for the Drake. Seems like Lily is backing. She recognizes that.
Zac's looking to gank the Pantheon. Decides against it. Decides to go get some wards on the dragon for whenever that Lily does come down.
Looks like he might be on it. Yeah, bot lane's roaming up. They started the Drake.
Bold move from the Zac, because the Lily is about to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Ezreal's a little late. Gets caught out.
Yeah, drags at half. Oh,
Lily's here. Big double sleep.
Done. Wow.
And kind of disrespectful from the Zac.
Yeah. He started it on his own. His lanes did not have prio yet, especially the mid lane. Lucian could just hop down, and Mordekaiser was there too. All lanes had prio, except for bot lane. Yeah, that Lily ult was huge for the Zips. And now they've got a massive lead. Almost 4K here.
Yeah, now we have the full Stormrazor coming out from the Tristana to only the pickaxe from the Ezreal. Typically, the Ezreal gets the man immune before the enemy laner gets an item, and he's still sitting on the components.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough for that Ezreal. It's gonna take a long time in this match for them to come back and snowball on them. It's gonna be a tough one. I want to see the Zips use this lead. They've got a Herald. It's only 12 minutes. They still got 2 minutes to get a tower low to use the Herald optimally. They got to use this lead.
Looks like Lillian might be looking towards using it on bot lane. Lucian coming with the roam too.
Yeah, taking his red again. Zac only got his first red. And he took the last one and now this one too.
The Lilia is currently almost 2 levels up on the Zac. Zac just getting level 7 off of those Krugs.
Yeah. The cull by the Ezreal is where he's really lacking the damage now, and they need some more pressure from them. He's going to take a long time to scale because of that cull.
Yeah, if you wanted to get that call, he probably should have got it around 3 minutes and not 6 minutes, but there's an engage happening.
Pantheon a little deep here without his team.
Zac looking a little small, but
yeah,
the Zips are just feeling so confident against the
that Lucian pulling away that Orianna was pretty big. If that Orianna had gotten near that fight, it could have gone south, but the Lucian just zoning. He knows he has prio and he knows he's far ahead. He can just bully this. Oh, and he flashes in on the Orianna. Couldn't quite pick it up, but it's about the disrespect. And then he ults her too. So get out of my lane.
The Liquor walking all the way up to the poor Renekton getting bullied this entire lane.
Yeah, got his flash. Seems like the Zips are just saying, this is our game. Did use the Herald mid. And there's the first turret. Meanwhile, Zach's just picking up the scraps from what Lilia leaves behind in his own jungle.
I think it's gone behind the, or gone past the point where Zach can really gank for any sort of advantage. He's so far behind right now.
Yeah, he needs to farm, but Lilia just takes everything. All lanes are shoved in, but he can't do anything about it. Look at that vision control by the Zips too. So much vision in the enemy jungle.
That
They
pink
know
ward
where
behind the
everyone
red has been there for about 7 minutes now. They just haven't cleared it out. Haven't found it.
Pantheon put a lot of pressure there. I would have liked to see the Tristana back it up. It seems like he jumped in after the full combo from the Pantheon. Need more synergy to just pop the enemy laners together. But we see the Orianna roaming down to this bot lane. They're kind of low, but she decides to back off. Timing wasn't good enough. So we see another drag coming up. You know what drag that is? We already took the ocean. Guess we'll see here in a second. Oh, it looks like Earth Drake.
If I'm reading the timers correctly on the right, it looks like
Yeah. So it's a Mountain Drake. Wow, Lucian just comes up and wipes him. So it could be either Infernal Soul this game or Cloud Soul. I would really like to see Infernal. Oof. That Pantheon just creates so much pressure. I love Pantheon support.
Zach coming in, misses his E, ults around, almost killing the Pantheon, getting the Lilia super low.
Yeah, so Tristana
Passive
hopping in.
proc.
Oh!
Tristana's going crazy right now.
Almost. Yeah, that was kind of an awkward fight. It seemed like the Zips went in, but then flashed out. I think their cooldowns were used separately, not in unison, and the OU was just able to kite the fight out long enough to survive and turn it around, and now they're turning around for another fight. This is 3v2, but Window Licker is huge. Ulting the Orianna to take him out of the fight, taking him down. We do have the TP from the Ezreal. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Window Licker just dominating 1v3.
Window Licker taking so little damage from that Seeker's Arm Guard and Bramble Vest from that Ezreal.
Yeah. It's a tanky damage assassin. As Roy just comes and cleans up again. Yeah, Mordekaiser doesn't even have boots yet. He doesn't need them. Just slowly walks up and just annihilates them. Yeah, you don't need boots when you got Rylai's.
He will slow them down so they cannot get away from his slowness.
Yeah, and OU, another red buff they don't get. Oh, Roy just setting up the assassination of Ezreal. Ooh, that hurt to see Karma miss her ult there, and she paid for it.
Roy is just styling on him right now. He's taking the lead that he got in his mid lane, and he's just giving it to every other lane.
And he's just walking up and saying, "What are you gonna do?" Zips need to close it out. I mean, hey, Ezreal almost done with his call here. Almost 20 minutes in, but that is going to be a nice little extra gold. Don't know where he's at as a man immune, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Can't wait to see his Sapphire Crystal Power Spike at 22 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he goes for the Trinity Force even. I mean, by this time in the game, you're not going to get that Trinity Force done. Iceborne is kind
Iceborne's probably the way to go with the double AD and the Pantheon.
of... Yeah, but then they're going to lack a lot of damage. Orion's not going to be online, and a lot of their damage is focused on this Ezreal, and he just doesn't have the gold.
They really need to rely on that Orianna and that Ezreal being their damage sources, because the Renekton is so far behind, he's almost not a champion anymore.
Yeah.
He really needs to rely on him getting the Giga combo of Renekton on one of the 80 carries. And now we see the Zac learning time and time again that his jungle is not his jungle anymore.
Yeah, we can point out that also OU's vision scores. It's tough to gain jungle control when there's no vision. Zip's just taking out everything. I want to see Lilia upgrade her Dark Seal to a Mage Eyes and just become a absolute beast. Full stack Mage Eyes.
And once Fuzzy upgrades that, it's over.
Yeah, if this has got to be, if there's a comeback from OU, it'd have to be a 50, 60-minute game at the very least. Is that just hopping in with like no vision? Pays for it heavily.
I think the Zac's getting a little mental boom this game.
Yeah.
I think he just wants to get to the next game at this point. He's almost getting Event Horizon by the Lilia at 20 minutes in the game.
He does do a little bit of damage, but he can't 1v3. The OU just not working as a team. The Zips will just take all the objectives they want. It looks like it is an Infernal Soul too. So that's, if the game even goes that long, if the Zips get an Infernal Soul, that would just be disgusting with the damage they already have.
I believe that it is Wind Soul.
Is it? Wind is about to spawn, and then Infernal after for Soul?
No, it's you can tell that it's a Wind or a Cloud Soul from the little spinning spirals that are on the blue and red.
Oh yeah, right. Roy getting caught out. Yeah.
Renekton with the flash combo stun.
Yeah, that's one of the troubles. When you're this far ahead, you get real cocky, and those shutdowns are huge. OU's gonna need about like 5 or 6 more of those before they even come back in the game, though.
Just on buffering the E. Pantheon trying to hold the Zac back. Zac getting a little upset and jumping on him. Looks like this very, very fast Lilia.
Yeah, Lilia's speed is just insane. But
the support 1v1ing the jungler and ending up winning that one. And Windowlicker comes in and just cleans up everybody.
Yeah, it's tough for OU to win these fights when if Mordekaiser gets on that back line, there's nothing they can do about it.
That island didn't even want to let the Karma get away.
Yeah.
Going into the base that's still has all the turrets.
Yeah, no one lives. But it does look like they're about to use their lead. They're using this Baron buff. They want to close this game out, get to the next one, keep that momentum going. It seems like they're doing just that. Don't know if they can quite do it. That could be good.
Coming in with the last ditch effort.
It's just no backup.
Instantly popped up. Renekton not up yet. Renekton coming in with the stun, almost killing the Lucian.
Oh. And there goes Tristana. A lot of their siege power there.
Orion with the flash all in, but it does almost no damage. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, it seems like the Zips can just be as cocky as they want to and just jump in as much as they want because OU just jumps in one at a time. Ezreal picking someone off, but doesn't he did opt for the Iceborne Gauntlet and he did upgrade his Mirror Mana, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Just done on the Storm Razor, IE, just doing tons of damage to anyone who's in her way. Critting up with the new crit buff on her E, where the E can crit now. She's just exploding people off of the map.
Yeah, there's not much they can do, but
And the Lucian's already on 3 items. He has his Bork, IE, and Essence Reaver. This Lucian is ginormous.
yeah, I want to see how Zips close it out here because they kind of just walking around the map. They just reset, but I want to see what their play is. If they just ARAM it down the middle lane with maybe like a 1-4 with the Mordekaiser pushing top, or maybe a 1-3-1. But right now we only got 2 in the mid lane and they're fighting here. Yeah, they take a lot of damage, but now that the Mordekaiser is here, it's just over. They knew the Mordekaiser had TP, so they knew they could just do whatever they wanted.
Mordekaiser is slowing them in his presence. Zac looking like he's about to engage. Hits the Pantheon, gets pulled by the Mordekaiser, and boom, popped by the Tristana.
There's a Lily ult, and looking like game here. They had a weird tactic of closing out the game. They only had 2 in the mid lane at some point. They could have pressured that bot tower and made it a little bit more clean, but it didn't matter. Their lead was so big. So what do you think OU can do differently to help close that gap?
I think that OU really needs to invest in probably a better jungler pick than the Zac, and the bot lane really needs to be that solid carry. They were staying up in CS in this very aggressive lane and making sure they were avoiding the engages from the Pantheon, but they ended up falling way far behind somehow.
Yeah, the Ezreal is doing a really good job of keeping up in that CS, but he invested way too much into late game with that call. I think that was a really poor buy by him. Unless he wanted to get that early, he really messed his gold efficiency up with that. I think if they chose a different support pick as well, Karma relies heavily on poking in that lane, but you can't do that against a Pantheon. If they were going to invest so much into their Ezreal and that being their damage, they could have had a support that can help him hyper carry.
I think my main focus needs to be on that jungle. They need to make sure that jungle can not fall so far behind, because he was almost null factor compared to that Lilia that was just running the game. They need to make sure that they give him ample vision in his lane, and they need to make sure they give him a better champion to play than Zac.
Yeah, it was really awkward for the Zac because Zac's just so heavily dependent on ganking the lanes and making them snowball, but his lanes couldn't do that. They were being pressured so much, and Zips were just dominating all of the lanes, so Zac didn't have anywhere to pressure. So if they switch up that jungler pick to maybe be if they're going to go with a scaling comp and make it a more scaling jungler, that might be a better pick.
Think what I could offer.
All right. So this is game 2. We're starting out with the same bands. The Cassiopeia ban again. That's. I mean, Roy plays. I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know if he plays Cassiopeia, but there's a Lucian ban. Definitely well deserved. Roy kicked butt on it last game.
They're not
And
looking forward to getting Lane Kingdom by the Lucian.
Yeah.
Chad Lucian pick again. Might as well get rid of it.
He was a very Chad Lucian. He was just walking up and saying, "You're not going to do anything." I do like the Lulu ban from the Zips because, like I said, it seemed like OU was going on like this protect their AD carry and make sure that their AD carry was the damage of their team, and Lulu's really good into those kinds of comps.
We see Ohio ban away the Mordekaiser that just won that previous game, but that just allows Windowlicker to get his set first pick.
Yeah. This I can already tell this is going to be a good one because Windowlicker is pretty nasty on that set. That's a real big comfort pick for them. If they hadn't banned Cassiopeia, they could have banned the set there, but
that is a very early Silas pick. I don't really like that.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. First picking Silas hurts.
You typically want to pick the Silas once you know a little bit more about the enemy team and what you can steal with your ultimate, because if you don't have any good ultimates to steal, then that's kind of not very good.
Yeah, I wonder if the Zips will draft around that and just make it so Silas is not usable, or just say we play what we want. Awesominator in the chat is saying he does play cast bot, so maybe that's what they're banning out. But I normally see cast bot when you just have an AD heavy comp and you need more AP somewhere. Maybe they just really dislike the Cassiopeia pick. And then Fuzzy getting it seems like OU's just getting all of their mains. They got the Graves and the set, just on both of their comfort picks so far. And then Samara. Alright, so we got a Samara pick here in the mid lane.
I forgot about the Samira being a champion. After seeing so many Worlds games and it being disabled.
Yeah, she's interesting because she's kind of a coin toss. You either hard carry with her or you hard feed, at least from what I've seen so far.
Looks like after that last game, the Zips are feeling pretty confident in being able to take this one out.
Yeah, I'm liking OU's draft a little bit more this game, except for the Silas. The Silas just feels super awkward. And the Echo ban, unless they're thinking Samara might be in the bot lane, which could be a possibility. She is played in the bot lane a lot.
Cowardice for wisdom.
She is inherently an AD carry, but can be played really in any single role of the game.
Yeah. She's a really good flex pick. You know, you pick her up and the enemy team won't know where she's going. I don't know what you can get to counter her. I don't know about a Nami pick. Nami's just super weak in the meta right now.
I think if United just gets himself another hard engaged support, that Nami's going to have a really hard time laning.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the Pantheon did get banned. Ooh, this spicy Aurelian Soul pick.
I don't know too much about Roy's Aurelian Soul.
Oh, it's pretty good. He plays a lot of Aurelian Soul, and when that champ's used efficiently, it's pretty tough to deal with, especially because a lot of North American players don't know how to play against him because he's such a low priority pick usually. And there it is, the aggressive Leona pick. It's going to be rough for that Nami.
She better hope at level 6 that she has that flash key.
Yeah, that's for sure. What I'm wondering right now is how Silas interaction works with Samara. If he can just use it right off the back, or if he has to use a combo.
I think that he might have to stack it first. I don't think he could, but I'm also not too sure about it.
I mean, to me, especially if he has to stack it, it seems like the Samara steal would be pretty suboptimal. I'm looking at ults that he can steal, and it's like the Aurelion Soul and maybe the Leona if he wants to.
I think his best option is the Leona or the Set.
Yeah, to be the hard engage for his team. His team, I mean, they have the vibe for a good engage, but he has some decent ults to steal here, but still not optimal to take that first.
We do see a more aggressive jungler coming out from the side of OU. I do like the Vi over the Zac just a little bit. Nah,
Yeah.
really might be able to do some work on the back line of the Samira, but it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit better of a draft from OU, but still not optimal. I think they might be just going with comfort picks and not getting a great synergy going on. Sometimes that's better to get your comfort champions, but their team comps feel a little bit awkward. Again, that Silas first pick might hurt them a lot. I'm interested to see the level 2 bot lane. Yeah, both Samara and Leona can be pretty good early games. So that level 2, I hope they set up their lane to just immediately engage.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Ohio joking around a bit in the chat, asking if they can watch the champion spotlight on Samira before they play.
I always love the little bit of banter in the games. He said 2 monitors.
It's a good thing that Ohio's still in high spirits after that loss.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they'll have to keep it. They'll have to keep their morale up. I don't. Other than the bot lane, I think things are going to be pretty relaxed in this game. I do worry about the Aurelion Soul into Aurelia. Might be a tough lane, but we saw Lucian go well into Orianna, so you never know.
Looks like it's going to be the same exact start for both sides, except for this time the Vi is soloing her red buff rather than getting any sort of leash.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Aurelia
just stacking the fervor, autoing and autoing and autoing.
Taking a decent amount of minion damage, but
corrupting pot trade must be looking like it's going back.
Get the level 2 gank in the bot lane from the Graves, but this sets up their lane to push, and now they won't get that level 2 pressure. Kyle on the set is just terrifying. Yeah, I'm surprised OU let
solo killing.
Roy just proving us wrong both
happened.
games. Roy just doesn't care about counter picks.
It looked like the Aurelia was doing pretty well in the level 1, but once level 2 came around, it was the exact opposite. The Aurelion Soul just beating in the Aurelia.
And it forces Aurelia to TP back for a wave. Oh, Leona goes in, but Vi's right behind.
Vi misses the Q on the Samira. I think she gets the kill there.
That feels bad from OU because that was primo for them. OU, the Zips not having good vision control before engaging.
Leona somehow getting away. That's pretty lucky on United's part.
Yeah,
When the liquor flashing in with the E, beating his head in.
Disgusting. Just showing him disrespect. And this is my top lane.
Bubble on
Asunator in
Samir.
trouble.
That Samir might be dead.
He got the heal
It's
off.
gonna be close.
Just barely survives. Yeah, looks like the Zips are getting a little bit. Oh
the
no!
snipe.
No vision Jin W. That was pretty clean. If I was Awesomenator, I wouldn't even expected that. Now United overstaying under tower and gets dived by a Nami.
United knowing that he's gonna die, tries to get the Nami kill in return, can't get it.
Yeah, no ignites in this bot lane. We know United doesn't have his flash from earlier. There's a little bit of overstay.
There's 0 sums in the bot lane. This could be quite exploited by the Vi.
Oh, wow.
Vi and Silas trying to gank in on the Aurelion Soul. Miss both of their abilities, unfortunately.
Their
Fuzzy
ankles get
Chalupa
broken.
waiting on the way back for Silas. Bullying him away, forcing him to back instead of going back to the top lane.
Wow. That sidestep. He's just so clean on this Aurelion Soul right now. Like I said, the biggest advantage people have on Aurelion Soul is people just don't know how to play against it.
Whenever there's a good Aurelion Soul player, it feels almost impossible. And the Aurelia dying under her turret to the Aurelion Soul stars.
It just seems like there's nothing she can do. She can't farm. She can't get ganks. He's too clean. The biggest thing I see right now is that Set picked up the Executioners. So it does slow his snowball a little bit longer, but it's going to stop that Silas from getting so much healing, especially because he's got that Corrupting Pot.
For me, I think that's a pretty 5-head first back to get on the Silas.
Yeah.
Or against the Silas, rather.
Especially with that Corrupting Pot, it just renders it pretty much useless. But you can just see all lanes are dominating from the Zips again. I think the win con from OU is their bot lane right now. The Jin 2-0 got that really nice snipe with his W.
They need to use that double TP that they have against Akron and use that Vi to continue just killing this bot lane over and over. They've seen that it's worked. They've seen that the bot lane's been playing sloppy. So exploit the sloppiness of UA at the moment.
Yeah. I'm surprised right now that... Oh, here we go. They're getting a little bit more aggressive in their lane. They should be aggressive. OU should be way more aggressive in this bot lane, shoving it out, getting pressure for this Drake that's up. Unfortunately, mid lane is not going to have any pressure, so they need something to make sure that the Zips just don't get a Drake for free.
United about to get caught out here, roaming up to get some wards for the dragon. He's dead.
Yeah, he didn't have eyes on the Vi, and he knew Drake was up, so roaming up there was not a good call, especially when you don't have Pio in your lane. And now the OU will get this Drake pretty much for free, unless there's a snipe from the Aurelion Soul. Yeah, it would have been a tough one.
This game's looking a lot better for the Bucks.
Yeah, they can definitely win this game. It's looking a lot better than the last game, but
big 1v1 in the top lane, pretty close, but the Conqueror healing.
Yeah. Normally Silas would be able to out-sustain that, but that Executioners was a really good buy. You see Silas didn't even, I don't know if it resets him when he dies, but it looks like he didn't even use a Corrupting Pot. Poor Awesomenator is just getting gunned down right now. Nami missing that bubble is pretty crucial.
Yeah, Window Licker saying, my Conqueror is better than your Conqueror. I have Executioners.
Yeah, poor Silas can't pick up any healing cut. Morello is just too tough to buy. I'm not exactly sure what the bot lane from Akron can do here to win this bot lane. It's going to be rough for them for a while. They're going to need a lot of ganks.
I think at this point, they need to rely on either a gank from Windowlicker since he's so far ahead, or they just need to play weak side and rely on Roy carrying on this Aurelion Soul.
Yeah.
Aurelia engaging, and it doesn't even look like it's fair.
Yeah, it's... At this point,
and the Akron bot lane catching out the Nami, disrespecting, staying up whenever her Jin's backing. Not sure what the Nami was doing there.
Yeah, way overextended. That's what Zips needed to get back in that bot lane. And then the next thing is probably getting a good roam from this Aurelion Soul to another lane to further shove the team's lead.
And the Liquor running at the Silas saying, "Get out of my lane. This is my farm, not yours."
Yeah, level ahead. Almost 30 CS ahead. The CS lead is
That is
intense.
a big CS lead.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is that Vi ahead of the Graves. Might see a little bit more
in the bot lane again. Samira looking a little close to dead. The bubble coming through. That Leona is dead.
Yeah, I was surprised after that entire skirmish.
But
This
the
Mira not
Aurelion
having
Soul
her,
Galaxy coming in.
huge. Samira passive keeping Vi there. But it's not quite enough unless Aurelion Soul... Oh, and then he flashes in. Honestly, can he pick up the triple? Double? Aurelia down there?
At this rate, he might get a quadra.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about this dragon
really
right
made
now.
it out.
And he's got the Rod of Ages and Seekers, and again the Dark Seal almost fully stacked.
Really trying to go in and get that
Samira.
Samira.
But the Samira blocked the stun. So clean by the Zips. Oh, you just picking not optimal fights. They could have just waited a couple extra seconds for the rest of their team to show up.
I'm not sure why that Aurelia went in on OU.
Yeah.
It was like she put a piece of paper on her monitor over top of the Aurelion Soul and like ignored like he wasn't there, and it was like, I'm gonna get this Samira. While the Aurelion Soul's just hitting her with those stars.
Yeah, I think she's so far behind. She wants to play hero to make a play, but it's just not going to work. She needs to play safe, come back into this game slowly. Oh, you need to play around their Jhin. He's pretty far ahead still. He's been the AD carry on OU side has been playing really well. You know, safe. Making sure he's picking up his farm and his gold.
Yeah, OU needs to realize that their bot lane is their win condition right now, and they need to start playing around this Jhin a lot more.
Yeah. OU's mid laner needs to realize that and just play defensively, peel for the AD carry if he can, instead of diving the backline. Man. And here we go again. Roy just hopping in the jungle and saying, "This is mine now."
It's the same thing as last game.
Yep. Zip's doing a really good job with that vision control.
Looks like they're diving this Nami. Hitting him with the stars.
Yeah. And picking up the Drake at the same time. They knew Vi was down. They said, we're just going to take everything. Poor Irelia can't even go into her own jungle now.
Can't even go 10 feet past her base gate
Yeah.
without getting smacked by an Aurelia.
And now she's deep in that mid lane. We can see on the map the Aurelion Sol right behind her. They take the bot lane and
the Aurelion Sol is running her down. He doesn't want to see her anywhere close to his lane.
yeah. He's gonna be
Aurelia
keeping her right
ulting
next to-
desperately, trying to slow him to get out. Stuns
Yeah,
him.
and we got the
Stars
set
are still
coming down.
smacking him.
Oh, she
Good
flashed,
flash.
but it
The
doesn't
set's
matter.
too fast.
Yeah, all the while bot lane couldn't come to help because they were shoved to turret. They had to decide helping the Aurelia or saving their turret. And there we go. The Silas gets Smear ult, but doesn't matter. The coordination from the Zips is too good right now. Window Licker just punching his Nami to
2v1ing the
death.
bot lane.
Jin could
Now we
pick
get
up
to see
the
the
kill
mini
here.
game. Can he dodge?
Doesn't
I's
matter.
gonna hold him in
Bile.
place.
And there it is. Jin's getting pretty big. He got a huge shutdown there. That's their win con. But Royce.
Roy
Still in the
again,
jungle.
just not. He doesn't want to see any of the champions on his map.
Yeah. And you can see, like, with how far behind Aurelia is, he has 2 wards up and only 3 vision score.
Samira needs to try to outplay this 2v1. Yeah, it doesn't look like this is happening.
Oh!
But
Almost picked the kill up on the Silas. For the position he was, he did really well there. But definitely way overextended.
that could have looked it almost could have looked like a 1v2 angle if he didn't get hit by, I think it was 2 tower shots. One at the beginning, one at the end.
Stips do have Herald right now. Not sure the optimal place to place it right now. Drake up in 2 minutes. Seems like they have a lot of time on that Herald. They could set up for a Herald top lane and then run it
Aurelion
down to
Sol.
the drag.
Aurelion Sol stacking 2 different things now. At 6 stacks on the Rod and 10 stacks on the Magi's. Just now upgraded it.
Oh, and here it is. They get the good ult on the Jhin, but
Jhin has the flash to get away. Looks like United's dead.
yeah, United.
Fly coming in with the ultimate onto the Graves. Graves flashes away. Samir gets the kill. Samir going in 1v3.
Ooh,
That was really close if Jhin didn't get that auto attack off.
yeah.
And Aurelion Sol coming in to clean up the rest of it.
That's what I love about Aurelion Sol is he can be anywhere on the map and then seconds later he's in the team fight to clean up.
Zip's now 9k gold ahead of the Ohio State.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting a repeat. Yeah, now they can send this Herald mid and there's a minute left on that Drake to come back up and they can just take all the objectives they want.
Roy might be looking for some limit testing.
Yeah,
Might
he's
see,
still
maybe I can 1v4.
with the lead he has.
Having a 1v1
He might
with
be
the
able to.
Aurelia. The Aurelia running away for dear life.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more pressure in that top lane, though. No. Set does have a TP, and Drake's up in 30 seconds. He should be in that top lane.
Double stun coming in from the Aurelia into the Aurelion Sol ult right afterwards.
Wow, that's pretty clean. And that just comes from the vision control. OU had no idea they were coming. Hey, they don't know where the enemy team is at because they don't have any vision in their own jungle.
And the Aurelion could be anywhere and everywhere at once with his E.
Yeah. They just keep applying this pressure, taking objectives for free.
That was stealing the Leona ult. Just in case if UA oversteps a little bit. Rila going in, gets a double stun off with her E.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Oh,
Samira going a
under that
little
tower.
too deep. United taking third shot.
Yeah, sometimes on the
will save him
Samira,
out.
you get that combo and you just want to go in, but going under the tower is just not optimal. They do get the Drake and a lot of pressure out of this, but
Seems like Awesome Nader's bane of his existence are the turrets on the map.
yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest issue with that champion is you have to set up your ult and you only have a certain time frame. So if they're under the tower, sometimes you just got to go for it. But sometimes you got to know when to just hold off and wait for the next setup for your ult. But again, OU not getting any of their buffs. Aurelion Sol taking them all. Saying if you're going to come get it, I'm going to kill you. You can't take it.
That poor Vi can't get any of her camps anymore.
Yeah, but if they can get a kill on the Aurelion Sol, he's got a huge bounty on him. OU needs to just put all their eggs in one basket and just kill that Aurelion Sol for that bounty.
The issue with the last team fight is that they really got a double stun off, which was really good onto the Samira and the Leona on top of the knockup from the Nami, but nothing hit that Aurelion Sol. The Aurelion Sol was just in the sideline the entire time hitting people with stars.
Yeah, oh wow. Jin just trying to farm his minions, but Windowlicker just says, nope, these are my
ABC in
lanes.
2020.
Yep.
That's the game right there.
So the issue is Irelia again trying to dive on that backline. Like you said, she got that double stun off, but Jin couldn't join the fight because Aurelion Sol was just zoning him away. So their main damage dealer couldn't do anything. Irelia just needed to play defense, peel for that Jin, and let him do damage.
Really is looking for a last-ditch flank on the UA squad. Hits an ultimate onto the Samira, but again, that's not who you want to hit.
Yeah. Keep saying it. She's playing dive the backline, but it's not gonna work for them.
You might want to hit that Aurelion Sol with 25 stacks and a big hat. You might wanna
Yeah.
hit that guy. Looks like it's gonna be a 2-0 for the Akron Zips, finishing this out 30-11 with a 15K gold lead.
Wow. Really well played by the Zips.
Yeah, that was. It just looked rough in the top lane and mid lane for that game. The bot lane was getting good advantages with the Jin and the Nami. The Samir and the Leona wasn't working out too well for them, and they were getting caught out quite a lot in the bot lane.
Yeah.
But the Diffie in the top and the mid was just too big.
Yeah, like I said that Aurelia was playing like he needed to be the hyper carry when in reality the hyper carry was definitely the Jin, and they needed to play those fights a little bit slower. Don't let that Aurelia go dive 1v4 and leave his Jin to die. So OU is just playing the fights really poorly.
Again, I really didn't like that Silas pick in the beginning, that first pick Silas, and it didn't show me anything in that game that was like incredible. The Silas ended up going, I think, 0-4 in the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
0-6 or something.
it hurts to take Silas first pick. I don't know what their reasoning behind that was. He did end up, picking out that set a couple times, but set picking up the Executioner early game really just shut him down.
Yeah, all the Silas had to take that was really useful ultimates was a Silas ultimate and the Leona ultimate. But if you're not using those ultimates on the Aurelion Sol that has all these things, then it's just not going to work out for you well.
Right.
We saw him steal the Samira all at once, and it did no damage because he's not Samira. He doesn't have crit. He doesn't have lifesteal. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. The Aurelion Sol was too big for them. They could not handle it. Roy, both games, just dominating. And OU just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank everybody for watching this game. We will be streaming every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. from this point on. Zips Broadcasting is back, baby. This has been Chris Consix.
And I'm Nick Benson. Thank you
And
for hopping in.
we'll see you back on Thursday.